In this video, we're going to briefly discuss how to get help in R. So there's a few different aspects of getting help in R that you want to know about. The first is if you want to get help on a specific command and you actually know what the command is. In that case, you can use $command, where command is replaced by the name of the relevant command, and that's going to bring up the documentation for the object. And you should know that this is not only for a command, this approach also works for datasets, package names, object classes, etc. Not necessarily on every single one of those things in a specific package, but if there's documentation, that's how you would bring it up for that particular object. Another thing you want to know how to do is sometimes you know the topic you want help on, but you don't know the exact function that you're going to need to do that. And so in that case, you can use $topic to do a search across all the documentation for that particular topic. And that's going to bring up any vignettes, code demonstrations, or help pages that include that topic for which you searched. And lastly, and probably the most popular way of getting help in R, is if you have a problem. So for example, maybe an error is being produced, or you want to know what packages can be used to do a certain analysis, or how to perform some sort of complex task, something else that you can't figure out. Simply do a web search. So one of the great things about R is that because it is open source and because it is free, many people use R, and many people ask questions on places like Stack Overflow and other places where you can get help for programming and computers. And thankfully, people often answer their questions and are able to assist you in what you're trying to do. So to get an idea of what these things are, we have a few tasks that we're going to complete. So the first is the lm command. So we're going to get help on that. So the lm command can be used to fit a linear model on a set of data in R. It's very popular in regression kinds of classes. So in order to get more help about the lm function, we can use the $lm function and execute that in the R console. So I'm going to open up my RStudio app here. And I have my console right here, and I'm going to type $lm. And you can see that down here at the bottom, in the help pane, it brought up help for fitting linear models. And so this describes a little bit about what the function is, how to use the function, aspects of the argument, and there's lots of information here about the lm function, probably much more than you'll typically need. Sometimes there's extra details that may be useful in learning how to use a function, that kind of thing. And one of the things that I definitely want to show you is that usually at the end here of the documentation, there's going to be some examples for how you might use the function. And oftentimes that's the most informative aspect of the documentation, at least for me. So another thing you might want to know about is a certain topic. So we might talk about a logarithm. So a logarithm is the exponent of the power to which a base number must be raised to equal a given number. So for example, log base 10 of 100 is going to equal 2 because 10 to the 2 power equals 100. So we might want to know what function can be used to compute the natural logarithm, which means that the base is the base is e, which is approximately 2.72. How do we do that in R? So you might have some ideas about how we would do that. Maybe it's log, maybe it's ln, but we can actually just do a fuzzy search here for logarithm, and we'll see what functions are available based on what we've loaded so far. Okay, so I'll do $logarithm in the console. Do a little bit of searching here. It's actually surprisingly slow right now for some reason, maybe because I'm recording this video. And so it brings up lots of help pages. So you can see all kinds of different things that have the word logarithm in it. And I'll just tell you right now, what we want here is this base log function, which is logarithms and exponentials. So this gives us more information about how we would do that, how we can use different bases, that kind of thing. So that's how we would do a fuzzy search for topics. But in general, honestly, you're probably just going to do a web search for the topic. So let's say that we wanted to change the x-axis label of a plot in R. We didn't know how to do that. So let's do a web search to see if we can figure out how to do this. And so I have all kinds of different pages that come up here. So axes and text. So I'm going to click on this. This quick R is actually pretty good usually. So we'll click on that. And it says many high-level plotting functions allow you to include axis and text options. And so you can see here, okay, there's an xlab. So this right here, so this is xlab equals x-axis label. So to specify an x-axis label or to change that in R for the default plot function, looks like we specify the xlab argument. And so you can use similar web searches to get a better idea of how to use a package, how to use a function, figure out what errors are going on, that kind of thing.